Back on In Focus, the steel and engineering sector has avoided costly protracted wage negotiations and a potential strike after speedily reaching a 3-year wage deal with the unions, while the Steel and Engineering Industries Federation of Unions and the National Union of Mineworkers South Africa says it was a victory for workers. The unions agree the industry needs to transform to include new black-owned small businesses. Ntokozo Khumalo takes a look.
South Africa's steel and engineering sector has been buckling under the pressure of various headwinds, including cheap steel imports, load shedding, and logistics bottlenecks. This has squeezed the sector's profitability over the past 18 months. Employers and labor have signed a 3-year wage agreement that sees workers receive above-inflation wage increases and the creation of a housing fund without downing tools. Both employers and unions say they have learned big lessons from the lengthy 2021 strike, which cost employers 600 million rand per day in revenue and ended up with workers receiving below inflation salary increases.
There's 9,000 companies in this sector, employing close to 400,000 employees. 300,000 of those employees are blue-collar workers who get up every morning and go to work every day and assist employers to keep their factories running. This is a 900 billion rand sector.
The National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa says the cost of strike action was one of the considerations made when wage negotiations began this year.
We have broken new ground. As a union, we place a demand of a 2 billion that employers must consider. And I must say we were a bit taken by surprise that there was no much resistance.
According to the World Steel Organization's 2023 World Steel in Figures report, South Africa is the 34th largest steel producer globally. And while South Africa's ArcelorMittal is the second largest company producing steel globally, Chinese companies dominate the top 10. SIFSA says for workers to be sustainably empowered, a holistic approach to the industry's future is required.
What are the implications for us in the absence of an industrial policy? What are the issues facing this industry at the bedrock of a low demand for companies in terms of supplying manufacturing various products and components and services to the rest of the country and the continent?
He adds that this is particularly concerning for the industry's value chain in South Africa, including small-scale steel businesses, when considering that the country's consumers consume a lot of steel. Steel products are in demand in industries such as construction and mining. However, the steel industry's value chain trickles down to small businesses servicing average households. The founder of Kazam Trading in Rockville, Soweto, Thabo Kazamula, left the banking industry to start his steel fabrication business 15 years ago and says there has been a shift in the sector.
Our clients tend to complain to us because now they know of branches or so-called manufacturers, steel manufacturers, that would sell them cheap material. And we overhear that that's material that's being imported from China and incorporated. It's not proper steel.
He says his operation employs several young men from the community at any given time, and that while he is retaining clients, cheap imports make it hard to grow his business and make a dent in the local unemployment rate.
We've been overlooked a lot. We're not given chances to expand. For instance, I'm working from my yard and I don't have space. That's one thing. We've got a lot of youth unemployed. We offer them, to teach them how to work with steel and all that. I hope and wish that our South African industry, steel industry top brasses can consider us a lot.
According to the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, South Africa's steel industry accounted for 0.6% of global production in 2010, contributing about 600 billion rand to the economy. This has since dropped to under 0.2%. Late last year, the Deputy Minister Fikile Majola said the country's steel and metal fabrication master plan would help give strategic direction to the industry. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Johannesburg.